Hello boys and girls. You need to strap yourselves in for this one because we're going to be looking at some of the darker elements of human psychology today, and I'm going to give you some stuff that's not going to feel very nice, and mainly because it's going to strike a chord with you and you're going to realise a lot of it is truth, and it is a very ugly truth, but the Spartan Life Coach protocol is to save you from beautiful lies by giving you the ugly truth that you need to face up to. This is a difficult one, this. A lady has asked me, my family continue to judge me even though I have changed as a person. Why is this? Well, your family hates you. They love you, I'm sure they do, but they also hate you. And that's a big problem, because anybody who's had the experience of no matter what they do, their family making them wrong, know the pain of the slow drip effect on your self-esteem and your confidence and your sanity, because you think, hey, I'm doing good things here. They seem to be judging me by different standards than they judge themselves and other people in the family unit. What's going on? And you slowly go crazy. That's the problem. The solution to this problem is greater understanding, which I will try and give you in a summarised format, and if you want to know more about it, then just ask me and we'll discuss it more on other days. The first thing that you must realise is your family, I'm looking at my notes, your family does not want what is best for you. That's a myth. And it creates a kind of mentally ill, schizophrenic pattern of behaviour in you, because you're being given two conflicting modes of communication at the same time, and one cancels the other out. So your family will ostensibly say, hey, we just want what's best for you, but their actions and their meta-communication clearly communicate that they do not want what is best for you, they want what is best for themselves. Gregory Bateson, who came up with the double-blind theory of schizophrenia, first observed this in psychiatric hospitals, where psychiatric care staff would sedate patients and say, hey, this is what's best for you, we're just trying to help. But actually what they meant was, hey, this is what's best for us. You're a pain in the arse when you're jumping up and down and running around the ward screaming, and you're much easier to deal with when you're dosed up on Thorazine and just sat there dribbling, staring at the wall. Your family does not want what is best for you, because what is best for you might be the worst thing for them, because you'll make them feel depressed and insecure and jealous and resentful at your success. So 9 times out of 10, your family does not want what is best for you. Number 2, most families are sick. It's normal. I just put into Google scapegoating in families. Scapegoating is the process by which one member of the family is picked out and abused and made guilty and wrong for everything, and Google came up with 8.5 million responses. It's a very, very common problem. It's a very, very normal problem. Most people's family units are sick. Most people find their families very, very taxing to deal with. Ram Dass was quoted as saying, if you think you're so enlightened, go and spend a weekend with your family. And he was just amusingly pointing out how even for people who are into psychotherapy or spiritual growth or whatever it might be, will find themselves being driven nuts and all of their psychological poison being drawn out just by spending a weekend with the family. The third thing that is good to understand and is worth taking some time out to research is Gregory Bateson's double-blind theory of schizophrenia. He argued psychologists tend to view psychological issues as an individualized problem. Psychology is the study of the individual mind, and psychology to date has tended towards treating mental illness as an illness, a physical disease, but it just happens to manifest in the mind, a model which is not that effective and not that useful, in my opinion. Gregory Bateson's double-blind theory of schizophrenia, his double-blind theory of insanity, was that actually whole family units were ill, and that what would happen is the weakest link in the family would often manifest the symptoms of the mental illnesses of all the other people in the family. This is scapegoating again. This is how somebody becomes the black sheep of the family. Weakest link is an unfortunate term. It's the one that's used in the papers to describe Gregory Bateson's double-blind theory of schizophrenia. And other researchers point out that this so-called weakest link is actually usually more the emotionally sensitive, the more psychologically tuned in, the person who is more intuitive, more creative and more artistic. So that person is usually the person who's picked out to be the scapegoat, and they will usually manifest the mental illnesses of all the other people in the group. Number 4, tribalism. If you make any tribe of people feel less than they will come for you one day, for sure. How do you make them feel less than? It was never your intention to make them feel less than. You were just getting on with your own life. But every success you enjoy, every opportunity that you enjoy, if you're in a position where you enjoy perhaps some limited low-level degree of celebrity even, you're generating resentment and you're generating jealousy by your own foolish drive for success. It's all your fault. This is just what happens. It's very, very sad. But as I said to you in the beginning, your family doesn't want you to succeed. Your family doesn't want what's best for you. They want what is safest for you, safest for them, and makes them feel better. Can you stop it? Okay, number 5, can you stop it? No, you can't stop it because they like it. In European psychotherapy, more than in English and American psychotherapy, they talk a lot about a concept called mobbing. This is like scapegoating. A group of people form a mob and they attack one person because it feels good. It's an enjoyable experience for them. The only thing you can do is to set up boundaries, and we will talk more on this channel about how to set up boundaries. And as a human being, as you grow up and deal with these painful realities, you need to realise that you must, one way or another, learn to live independent of the good or bad opinions of others. You need to learn to live independently of the good and bad opinions of others. Another quote from another person would be Eckhart Tolle, who said, "Don't look for consciousness where there is none." So I'm not telling you to hate your family back. I'm saying understand what's going on at a systematic level. Start thinking like a therapist. Start thinking like a psychological engineer and go, oh, okay, that's what's happening in this system. There is no consciousness here. I can't expect there to be consciousness. There is only psychological darkness, you know, the mental poop that gets stuffed down to the basement, but that eventually will come out. Because what is suppressed will eventually be expressed in some format. Number 6, realise that your problem is normal, and just be aware that, you know, you're not on your own. There are support groups out there. There are other people out there who are experiencing exactly the same things as you. I experienced the same thing myself. It's not you. It's not your fault. It's something that they're experiencing, and it's something there that is almost like a software fault in human psychology. Yeah, number 7, I just said forgive yourself. Feeling the way you feel. You might feel weak, you might feel like yourself, you might feel needy. Why am I not being given the love that I want? Well, what is wrong with me? Why would I need to be given more love, more attention and more validation? And forgive the people who are experiencing this. They can only be feeling this way because of bitterness, because they're aware that you, or they're either aware or their perception is that your life is better than theirs. They don't know what you're going through. They don't know how tough it is for you as well. All they have is their perception, because the map is not the territory. The territory is the territory, and the map is just the map. Changing other people's maps is tough, especially when they have primary and secondary gain from maintaining the status quo of that map. They don't want to start liking you, because then they would have to deal with their own issues. They'd have to be like, oh, I've acted like a dick for years. In my position, in my experience that I'm in now, due to a very unique set of circumstances, people are being forced to do that, but I'm not going to get into that here. Number 8 is do seek to actively increase your understanding. I mean, in the case of the individual lady who asked this question, you are seeking to increase your understanding because you contacted me and asked me the question. It shows a proactive mindset. I would look at trying to understand narcissistic personality disorder, projection, mobbing and scapegoating. The final thing I'll just say is for all of you who aren't sure what projection is a Freudian concept. Freud came up with the idea that if I as an individual am experiencing thoughts, feelings and desires that I don't like or that clash with my self-image, then I will project them outward onto a target, which could be a person, an institution or a thing. And by projecting outward, I don't have to own those I'm not a jealous person. I'm just not a jealous guy. I'm too cool to be jealous. So if I feel jealousy, I might push it outward, or whatever it is, some unpleasant emotion, rage, anger, sadness. Sometimes sadness gets projected outward. Very often weakness gets projected outward. And I will probably, actually, yeah, okay. Let's finish with, this is great. I had it on the screen and now it's gone. Philip Larkin wrote, they fuck you up, your mum and dad. But it continues. And it talks about how your parents will actually project their weaknesses onto you. Da, 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 da. Waiting for Google to open the page. Okay. They fuck you up, your mum and dad. They may not mean to, but they do. They fill you up with thoughts they had and add some extra just for you. Cheers, mum and dad. It's normal. Happens to all of us. So I hope that helps. A lot of harsh truths there. Pretty ugly reality, but it's something that has to be faced and dealt with. Okay guys and girls, that's it for today. If you've got any questions, leave them in the comments bar below. Thank you very much for your time and your attention, and I will speak to you soon.